Today we are talking about Saturn Retrograde. So it is currently July 13th, 2025. Last night, the night of July 12th, Saturday, ruled by Saturn, July 12th, 2025. Saturn, which is currently sitting in the sign of Pisces, began its, we'll just call it 4-month retrograde period that ends at the end of November. And so Saturn is the big old planet with the ring, which delivers us structure, discipline, hard work. It is also a karmic energy. There is no escaping the ring of Saturn, which therefore means there is no escaping the lessons we are meant to learn in this lifetime. And so retrograde energy is simply a reversal in the motion of the planet. The planet's normally moving forward, and retrograde, the planet begins moving backwards. It retraces its steps in position to the Earth, and so in relation to its position with the Earth. And so retrograde energy in general is about revisiting old habits, old patterns, old ways of moving through life, so that we can deal with and bring to a conclusion all of the unfinished business that is still sitting in these open energetic loops. And so Saturn retrograde is a time to slow down so that you can catch up with yourself. We are currently 2025 in a 9 universal year, closing all of the energetic loops that were opened in 2017. And so July is the 7th month in this 9 universal year, bringing us 7 energy. 7 plus 9. 9 is just a completion. Keeps whatever numbers it's attached to the same as that number. So the 7 universal month, 7 energy for this month in the 9 universal year is 7 energy is divine intelligence. It is spirituality. It is an analytical and retrospective energy. And because of that, it can bring us isolation, loneliness, and in my experience, 7 energy, that divine intelligence tends to teach us things through loss, through material loss. So you have the 7 energy of analyzing what's working, what's not working, the retrospective nature of looking back. It's your actions, what's working, what's not working. And now, on top of that, we have this karmic retrograde energy helping us revisit all of the choices, decisions, actions, responsibilities, commitments that we have made all the way back to 2017. And so Saturn goes retrograde every year. And like I said, it's about 4 months every year that we have this karmic correction, this slowdown, keeping us on the path that we are meant to go on. And so some people, they are constantly bumping up against the front side of Saturn's ring. They're trying to move too fast through life. And so they're smashing against the ring smashing against Saturn's ring on the front side. Other people, they're resisting life. They're resisting the forward momentum that life brings us. And so they're sitting still, and Saturn is having to drag them forward through life. Also, very painful. Most of us, we oscillate kind of in the middle. We get a little ahead of ourselves sometimes. We fall behind sometimes. And this energy just kind of keeps us oscillating back and forth without ever really, truly smashing into Saturn's ring. If you have been attempting to move too fast through life, this is a theme that has been present in my life when I was younger, and this is really this year, well, really a few years ago when I became the daily in-home hospice caretaker for my bed-bound grandfather. That experience, though, and he ended up living 2 years on in-home hospice, 100% completely bedbound, unable to eat on his own, unable to roll over to his side on his own. So the cyclical, every single day routine of, and I was living across town at the time, we moved him into my parents' place. And so the daily routine of wake up, drive half an hour across town, get him breakfast, change him, make him lunch, get him his afternoon meds, get dinner prepared for him, pass him off to my parents when they both get home from, because they both work all day long, and my brother was out of state in college. And so this 2-year grind of every single day, driving back and forth across town all day long, being in this experience with him really forced me to slow down. And so through that time, this became a theme for me. And this year has really been finalizing a lot of the lessons that I learned. Like I said, this year is concluding all of the energetic loops that are still open, going all the way back to 2017. So all of the lessons that I have learned through that 2-year experience are really finalizing themselves. They're really concrete, so much so that I am dramatically able to change the actions, the inputs that I am giving the universe. And Saturn Retrograde is another one of these checkpoints, these karmic checkpoints that we have every year, where it asks us, the energy asks of us to evaluate where are we sitting when it comes to fulfilling our karmic destiny, fulfilling the role we are meant to fulfill in this lifetime. And so the commitments you have made, the friendships, acquaintances, partners, employees, all of these relationships, all of your, like I already said, your commitments, the desires you have, the goals you're going after, as Saturn really heats up this retrograde period. We just entered it last night. And so as this period starts to unfold, the 7 energy, the divine intelligence, the analytical, retrospective nature of the 7 month, the 7 energy month, and the 9 universal year, combined with this Saturn retrograde energy, is asking us to evaluate, does this thing, whatever that thing is, the commitment, relationship, goal, desire, actually support me? Is this something I actually am willing to make the trade-off to have? One of the energetic principles of this universe: for every input, there's an equal and opposite output. Newton's third law: for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And so if you want to get stronger, the universe, part of the trade-off in this universe is you have to go through hardship and challenge. And so the Saturn retrograde energy is asking us to evaluate what trade-offs are we truly willing to make. Am I truly willing to make the trade-offs to achieve this goal? And so this Saturn retrograde is happening in Pisces, the 12th sign, the water sign, the fish, the double fish. And once again, 12th sign is the last sign in the zodiac. So another conclusion, conclusive endings type of energy. And so Pisces, you can think of the ocean, calm on top, big currents underneath, chaos underneath, like the riptide underneath the current. Calm on top, big energy, big movement below the surface. And so Saturn in Pisces, it's asking us to evaluate. Pisces energy tends to have escapist tendencies, avoidance type of tendencies. So Saturn is asking us, if we're sitting on the backside of the energy, kind of getting closer towards the backside of Saturn's ring, it's asking us to evaluate, why are we avoiding the things we are avoiding? Why are we hesitant to go after what we know we truly want? Why are we resisting life? And so depending on where you are in your journey, your experience through this Pisces Saturn retrograde is going to be different. If you're closer towards the front side of the ring, it's about slowing down, evaluating whether or not you're willing to make these trade-offs, whether or not these things are actually meant for you. If you're closer towards the backside of Saturn's ring, in the last 9 years, you've kind of been resisting life. You've been escaping some hardships or challenges. You've been preventing yourself from taking that leap towards the inner calling that the universe is giving you. It's about evaluating why. Why have I not gone for it? Why have I decided to resist the call of the universe to fulfill the role I am meant to fulfill in this lifetime? And so, wherever your Pisces, whatever house your Pisces sign sits in your birth chart, that will be the biggest area of reflection. And so if you are in Aries rising, that means Pisces is in your 12th house. If you are a Taurus rising, Pisces and Saturn right now is your 11th house. Pisces is always your 11th house, but Saturn's currently now in your 11th house. Gemini, Pisces would be your 10th house, so on and so forth, all the way through the zodiac. And so if you're a Pisces, Pisces is in your first house. And Pisces rising, Pisces in your first house. These are all based off the rising signs, the examples I gave. And so take a peek at your birth chart. Where is Pisces located? The themes of that house are going to be the biggest area in your life where you are being called to evaluate your current status. And so the 7 energy for this month and this 9 universal year is going to be supporting us in this reflection, in this examination of our current alignment with the role we are meant to fulfill, with our karmic destiny. We have Venus in its home of Taurus. We have both the Sun and Jupiter still in Gemini, guiding us, allowing us to be bold in our expression. With the Gemini is another analytical energy, and Jupiter is divine wisdom, divine guidance. So we have wisdom in these analytical sensations, with the sun supporting us in the boldness required to actually make changes in these areas. The sign of Cancer currently has Mercury in it, and so Cancer's an emotional sign, soft, intuitive, and Mercury represents expression, raw expression. It's another analytical energy. It is Mercury in Gemini. So Gemini is the mirror and Mercury is the expression. It's the entity that is being mirrored. So those two go hand in hand. And we had Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury all in Gemini last month, helping us to get this reflection moving in the right direction. We have in Leo boldness, grabbing attention. Mars, action, being joined with, that's not the word I was looking for. Mars and Ketu are currently in Leo. The word I'm thinking for, it's slipping my mind. But so we have this action energy and this bold sign of Leo with Ketu, detachment, helping us detach from the old patterns and ways we go about expressing ourselves, the old thoughts we have around how others perceive us. And so in the sign of Aquarius, innovation, new, being unique to ourselves, we have Rahu, obsessive energy. So all of these transits so far throughout the year, January, 1 energy, got the ball rolling for this 9 universal year. It really got us moving in the right direction. February, 2 energy, gave us a sneak peek into what these endings are going to look like. March, 3 energy, playful, fun, ambitious, creative. We had a lunar eclipse, we had a solar eclipse, we had like 5, maybe even 6, I don't remember, 5 or 6 energies in Pisces itself at the solar eclipse. And so we really began stripping away what was for what will be there in March. April, at the end of that first quarter, April, 4 energy, began to lay the foundation for the new transition that we're going to be going through. May, the 5th month, 5 energy, was the meat of the transition, was really getting that transition ball rolling. Change, versatility, adaptability, all represented by 5 energy. Last month, June, 6 energy, was about doing the selfless work required to truly transition from what was into what will be. 6 energy, family, community. It's also hardships, challenges, barriers. It is duty, like I said, selfless service, selfless work. And so the universe was having us finish off the first half of the year by really getting the work done to transition, like I said, for the 3rd time, to transition from what was into what will be as we, at the end of this year, begin a new 9-year universal cycle in January of 2026. July here, 7 energy. We're analyzing, reflecting on what was working, where are we currently at in this transition process. This Saturn retrograde is really helping us dig in and align with where we are supposed to be, where we're meant to be. And so whether you're towards the front end of Saturn's ring, whether you're on the backside of the planet bumping up against the backside of the ring, you are exactly where you are meant to be. Or if you're perfectly aligned in the middle, and this retrograde period, this July is going to be a fantastic month for you. Which for a lot of people it will be, depending on their personal year, their personal days, and their personal months. Their current karma. So the 3 levels of karma, you have accumulated karma, current karma, created karma. The current karma describes the experiences we have through these different transits and transitions. The accumulated karma is just your birth chart and the imprinted energy and imprinted lessons you have as you were born into this universe. And the created karma, that's what we think of normally as like karma. When you do something bad's going to happen to you. That's dictated by the inputs that you give the universe in that input-output cycle, Newton's 3rd law type of action. For every action, equal and opposite reaction. And so the inputs you create, the created karma, gives the universe insight into the status of your learning as you go through the current karma period, as your current karma is unfolding. If you are delivered a lesson from the universe and you change your actions to demonstrate to the universe you have truly learned, and you demonstrate that you have learned by changing the inputs you give the universe, you have been able to clear some of that accumulated karma through that current transit and through that current period of time. If you demonstrate to the universe that you have not learned your lesson, the universe has, just like a parent and their child, 2 ways of getting you to learn. It can either increase the intensity of the experiences, or it can increase the variety of experiences it gives you. So if you have a child who breaks the rules, whatever the rule may be, and you give them a 5-minute timeout, eventually the 5-minute timeout is not really a punishment anymore. It's not enough of a consequence in order to get the change of behavior that you desire. So you have 2 options. You can either increase the length of the timeout, or you can give a different consequence. You lose your toy. You don't get to go out to that event with your friends, or whatever it is, depending on the age of your kid and the circumstances at play. And so the universe knows exactly what makes you tick. So it can, with pinpoint precision and pinpoint accuracy, deliver you the exact experience you require in the exact moment you need it to learn these lessons. So no matter where you are in your journey, you're on the front side, you're on the back side of Saturn, you are supposed to be there so that you can learn that lesson in this moment. And so this Saturn retrograde is going to be amazing for all of us. It is all happening exactly as it's supposed to. The day-to-day experiences are being delivered to us in the exact way that we need to experience them so that we can, in the end, fulfill the role we are meant to fulfill in this universe. If you have made it this far, I genuinely appreciate you. I will talk to you again soon.